Hey, we're the Turtons, and this is Turton Travels. And a couple of weeks ago, Beate put out a post on Facebook saying, as we wrap up our trip, 1 week left, so now 3 days left, are there any questions people wanted to have answered? And people wrote in, so we are going to answer some of your questions. Emma wrote, as a teacher, mom, wife, I'm wondering how you felt with covering the school curriculum for both of your kids. Were they in grades where they needed to do the EQAO? The answer is no, we don't have to do the EQAO because we were homeschooling and we don't have to do it. Quick and easy. As for covering the school curriculum, we also don't have to do that, but we focused on math and reading and geography through some Unistudy stuff. We found a really fun curriculum that did like a Unistudy on each state we were traveling through, and we went to lots of national parks, and we bought a membership, a reciprocal membership at a museum, just picked a random one, that allowed us to have free admission to a lot of different museums across North America, which paid for itself, I don't know, at least 20 times over. So that was a great deal.
Lots of field trips. We did spelling,
we did typing,
and we did German instead of French this year.
Yes. In Canada, so we studied French. This year we swapped it out so the kids could have easier conversations, hopefully with Oma, Opa, Ua Oma, and the German family on Beate's side. Okay, Simone says, what's the best part of each day together? Some days I think the kids would say alone time.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was the best part each day.
I think just experiencing something new every day, right? Like there's no day was ever the same as any other day.
True. Some days were down days. They weren't all adventure days.
No.
But a lot of them were adventure days.
Yeah, we also had to do like laundry. Matthew had work calls. We had to get, do some schooling.
Just regular
grocery
life
shopping,
stuff.
right? But yeah, I think all the different adventures and things we got to see and experience was probably my favorite part.
I think the best part of the day for the kids was some days they got to sleep in.
Yeah, that's true.
Someone asked where we were going in Alberta. Hey, Derek, long time no see. Okay, so we did a week in Golden, BC, which was just across, and then from there we shot over to Banff and Lake Louise. Then from there we were supposed to go up to Jasper, but of course it kind of burned down. Just as we were actually supposed to go there, we saw the fires, or the smoke, I should say. So then we ended up. Do you remember where that other place was? We found a place
an hour
west of Edmonton. Found a place on Hip Camp. So I actually signed up for Hip Camp as an eco campground. Really cool. Kids love picking raspberries there. Yeah, very muddy though. Lots of rain.
Yeah.
That was too bad. But other than that, it was spectacular. So we did lots of stuff in Edmonton or around that kind of area. Chill week because we couldn't go to Jasper. Then we went up to Edmonton for a week, and our nephew joined us. Now we're in Drumheller for a week. And 3 days we head home. Julie says, what's the best meal we've had all trip? What do we think, kids? That's tough. We've had a lot of great meals. So it doesn't have to be best, but one you like.
One that you really liked.
I don't remember where it was. Where were we with the Jansies?
Oh, an Indian restaurant. Yeah, that was really good.
Oh, yeah.
That was in Golden, BC.
That was in Golden.
Yeah, that was
delicious.
really. Yeah, that was your first time experiencing
They had
an Indian restaurant.
Very good butter chicken.
Yeah.
And naan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
What about you? Do you have one where you're like, oh, that was really good?
Really favorite restaurants.
I know you like the pizza buffet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
pizza
good.
buffet.
Yeah, that was good.
I don't remember where that was. That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
It was.
in South Carolina we went to like.
To a pizza buffet.
Yeah, so like back in September.
Yeah.
They had dessert pizza.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Julie has a series of questions, mostly about food. Best donuts.
Round Rock Donuts.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty
what I was
good.
gonna
Yeah, that was
say.
in Texas.
Round Rock, Texas.
Round Rock, Texas.
We go back and watch that so you can get a feel for how big those donuts were. But we had the Texas donut, and it was about as big as my head, eh?
Yeah,
Maybe a little bigger, actually.
Yeah.
And good. So sometimes you
Yeah.
can have big and not good, but it was big and good. Best pizza.
Do you remember?
It's hard to
At a
distinguish
restaurant?
them all. I know
Yeah.
Actually, the Boston Pizza one just the other day was actually really good.
Yeah. I think my two favorite though were New Orleans.
New Orleans. Oh, in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
that
I
one
thought you
was
meant
good.
New Orleans
No.
pizza. Yeah, that's true.
And the one in New Mexico. The outer rim.
Oh
pizza
yes,
place.
that was
Oh
good.
yeah,
that was good.
good too. Yeah, that was good pizza.
That
We also went to another good one in Quartzsite.
yes, that was very delicious too. Actually, lots of good pizzas actually.
Yeah.
Best ice cream.
Ooh, Mason, or I guess
Oh,
that's
yes.
what's it
It's
called?
got ice cream.
This was like a long
Crazy
time ago.
Mason.
Crazy
Milkshakes.
Mason milkshakes.
There's the picture
Yeah.
right here.
South
If you go
Carolina.
back to in September, yeah, South Carolina. Those were amazing milkshakes.
Oh, so good.
Yeah,
Uh,
enough calories for like,
best
the whole
burger.
Mm.
I don't think I ordered any burgers on this trip.
This guy did.
Like chicken
Yeah,
burgers, yeah.
But there's so many. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you definitely ordered burgers.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have a favorite there. It's all good.
All good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dustin's a big fan of
I think
burger.
every restaurant we went to or food experience that like we liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there was
Yeah.
one food, like, restaurant where I was like,
Oh,
this
this
isn't
is not
good.
good.
There was some that I was like, nah, this is a 7.
That's one of my favorite
7.5.
parts of traveling is like trying different foods.
Well,
different
yes.
restaurants.
Well,
Yeah.
there was a couple of things you didn't like, right?
And a new
Yeah.
meal that we cooked in the RV that we had never
Hold
done
on, we're not
before.
there yet.
Oh,
We're not there
okay,
yet. That's the
great.
later question. Best new food discovery.
There we go.
Now you can say it.
No, I think like let's do restaurants because
Oh,
there's
okay.
a favorite thing to cook
What
later.
you were saying, like Indian
I think
food.
the Indian. The kids had the
Mhm.
Indian for the first time,
Yeah.
and they were both pretty excited about it. What's yours?
City.
Oh,
quesadillas,
quesadillas.
yeah.
That's true. Natasha
Yes,
had
making
quesadillas
quesadillas.
at a restaurant and fell madly in love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
actually
something
you
new.
fell
I
in
had
love with
tacos there.
tacos.
Those were
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and those were good. Yeah.
Both those were with Jen. Hey, Jen. In Mesa. That was
Arizona.
Arizona, yeah. What have you each learned about yourself this year? Julie with the hard hitting questions. Best donuts and what have you learned about yourself? Man. Something I've learned about myself is I'm a lot more comfortable walking up to a stranger now than I used to be. I can just
Okay.
walk up to the neighbor and start a conversation. No problem now. Yeah. What about you guys? What have you learned about yourself this year?
Any thoughts?
I'll go with Natasha and say something I learned about Natasha this year is how fearless she is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And determined. Like, you kept wiping out on that surfboard and just pop back up out of the
Right
waves,
back up and keep
scream,
going.
that was
Yeah.
awesome, and go again.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
And like the zip lining just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And something I learned about Desmond is when he decides something is going to happen, he's going to stick with it and make it happen.
Yeah.
And
He's
not
really
give up.
loyal. Yeah.
And that's been really cool to see. And actually, he's got a real protective streak for his sister.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they always get along. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
But
Most
you
of
do
the
a really
time,
good job
yeah.
of looking out for her, making sure she's
Yeah.
okay. She blew her ankle the other day, and Desmond just took great care of her. So that was really cool to see. What
Yeah.
about you, Beate?
For me, that I like routine, but at the same time, this year there has not been as much routine, so that I can do it. Even though I prefer routine, that I can kind of step out of that and try new experiences and it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to a bit more routine as we go home.
Yeah,
but
you
it has been pretty amazing just stepping out of that structure and experiencing a lot of new things this year.
Janine says, "How long did it take to plan the trip?" It took
I mean, 5 years
several
ago.
years.
5 years ago is when we kind of started saving financially for the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the actual planning still took a couple of years.
Mhm.
We figured out a rough route, and then a lot of hours into figuring out where we would go. We used an app
Yeah.
called RV Trip Wizard. Highly recommend it. Worked great for us.
Yeah, Matthew did a good job booking all our campsites. Probably about every 3 months, you would book the next 3
Yeah.
months worth of campsites. Yeah, so props to Matthew for doing all that. Yeah.
Janine says the map of the U.S. that is shown at the intro are those the places you have traveled. Yes, it is, except I didn't update the Canadian side in the intro yet. I still have to do that. Those were just kind of projected of where we thought we would go, and then when I actually got around to doing the booking, we decided to go a slightly different way. But all the stops in the U.S. are exactly where we stopped. How many states have we visited? I think it's around 15 that we
So we've actually
stayed
spent
in.
time in. Yeah.
And then we went through a couple, kind of zipping over to Virginia. Have you found that Americans appreciate being American? If not appreciative, can you say what you might have observed? Oh, that's a vague question.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah,
more American flags than Canadian flags. That's one thing
Yeah.
I noticed.
I think it's
Yeah.
it's interesting. I think like any country, you get people that are really grateful to be American, and then you get people that are, I think, grateful to be American but ignore the flaws, or are grateful to be American and focus on the flaws. And I think we have that in Canada too.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any country that's perfect, Canada or America or any other. Some people are like, Canada's perfect, and other people are like, no, there's problems. And it's other people take the other side and say, oh, it's terrible. And I don't think it's either. I think it's not perfect, it's not terrible. It's a wonderful country that has problems, and I don't think we should be leaving it up to politicians to address, but we'll say that for another time.
But
Yes.
I mean, everyone that we've met
Has been awesome.
The States, States
Yeah.
and in Canada. Like,
So many people were like,
such
oh,
great-
you're going to this city, or oh, you're going to this
Oh,
place,
you're going
or
here,
oh,
like,
no, it's
make sure you're
terrible.
careful. And no, I don't
Everyone
think we've
was super awesome.
ever. Yeah.
So kind. How do you deal with needing space from each other? Not well.
Not well.
Uh,
That's one thing that
yeah.
we're not good at.
Beate sucks at this.
Yeah.
Needing alone
Especially being
time.
an introvert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
needing alone time is one of Beate's needs, and we even talked about this before the trip. We had a whole plan, and she did not use the plan.
Yeah.
And I tried to force her to use the plan several times, like taking the kids and I'm leaving, have some alone time.
But then I also don't want to miss out on whatever they're doing. So I don't know. It's
And
like,
sometimes she'd be like, "No, I'm coming." I'm like, "That's not the plan."
So yeah, something I'm looking forward to when we're home. It's just I love my family, but I also need a little bit of me time. So
Yeah.
have not been the greatest. at that.
AJ says, "How are you all feeling about coming/being home? All four of you."
How are you guys feeling? Are you excited? Are you
Yeah.
sad?
Sad and excited.
Yeah.
That's fair. What about you, Tash?
Excited.
Say it again a little louder.
Sad and excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all are. It's kind of bittersweet, but I'm definitely looking forward to being back home and
Yeah.
seeing our family and friends, and just getting back to normal, regular life reality. I know this has been a reality for this year, but that's going into the trip. We knew that was not going to be like a long-term reality. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going back home and having my full kitchen and bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. What are you looking forward to? What do you think you'll miss? How do you think this year will have changed you as a family unit? So, what are you looking forward to? What do you think you'll miss? How has it changed us?
Having my own room. Definitely. That's a problem. Yeah, I'd see my
Yeah,
friends
me too.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one you've talked about lots of times,
Yeah.
right? That's the real thing that you miss on this trip.
Yeah, if we could bring everybody with us, I mean, I think we could do this like long term, full time, but I think we miss our family and friends too much that it's hard to be away from them.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing for me is being away from our community.
What do you think you'll miss being at home?
Not seeing new stuff. Is
Right, it's gonna be
nearly
like,
as
what?
much.
This is what our life was before this trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
When you think
That's
of all the new things
Oh my
we've seen and
goodness,
done
we've
this year
experienced so much this year. Like more than we
It's-
probably did before. Like,
in our whole lives.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been pretty wild. We've
Yeah.
done some really crazy things. We rode go-karts down mountains. We went to the world's largest bouncy house. We went with a paleontologist to find dinosaur bones out in the desert, and that's just this week.
That's just
Yeah.
this week. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna miss
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss the utter lack of routine. I'm gonna miss going to museums and seeing really cool stuff and meeting random people who invite you over to watch a football game at their cookout. Looking at you, Alabama. Yeah. And how do we think it's changed our family unit? One thing I think is, we know that we can handle tough things now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some good days, we've had some terrible days, but we managed to stick together.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean we always like each other. That happens at home too. But I think we can handle some pretty tough stuff. You guys have done some tough hikes and been like, I'm gonna die, and then at the end you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Gene Melnick. Hey, Gene. Would you like to do a big trip like this again, or does it feel like once was good? I'm just going to tell you that everybody else is going to say
Once
no.
was good.
Once was good. Once
And
was
I'm
good.
going to say I would just do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah. He would
Yeah.
like to full time.
To keep doing this, the rest of us are ready to go
100%.
home.
I would. Perfect for me would be probably 6 or 8 weeks on the road and then fly home for 2 weeks. That would be like a really nice rhythm for me where I get my time with family and friends and playing squash with the boys. And then come back for adventure. But that's just not reality. And I'm okay with Oma says, what places would you like to go back and visit in a few years? What do you guys think? Where would be like a place you're like, ooh, I'd like to go back there?
A certain state or a certain place.
I don't know. There was like
You like Texas, right?
Yeah.
Arizona. I like the desert of Arizona. I'd
Yeah.
like to go back there and explore that more.
I'd like to go back somewhere and watch you guys surf again. Maybe try
Yeah.
myself too. That
Yeah,
was fun.
going up
watching
the
you do that.
California coast, that was nice.
Oregon was wild. Really, there was
Yeah, I
only.
think we like.
So we're in 49 different locations, I think we stayed. 49 or 50. And I think there's only 2 that I would not want to go back to. Other than that,
Yeah.
every single one I'd be like, yeah, I'll go back tomorrow.
Yeah.
They were awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Heather says, what are you going to do with all that space in your home compared to living in tiny quarters? Easy, we're going to fill it with rocks.
Yep.
We started a rock collection on this trip.
Yeah.
Or we, meaning like the royal we, Matthew, and the kids. Yeah, but our house isn't even that big. We live in a townhouse, but it's going to feel very
It's going
spacious.
to feel massive.
Very spacious compared to
Kings and
RV.
queens, kids.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're going to have your own room with a door, not a curtain.
Yeah,
What?
it'll be amazing. And before this trip, we ended up having to pack our whole house up and put all the boxes in the basement because we Airbnb'd our house while we were gone this year. Shout out to Laura, who did an awesome job managing
Thank you,
and
Laura.
maintaining the house. Yeah, so when we go back, I'm actually hoping as we slowly unpack everything that we can maybe get rid of a certain percentage of stuff.
A certain percentage. She's a
Like
very
50,
generous
maybe
percentage.
like 50%. I mean, if we
Yeah.
didn't need it this for one whole year.
If you ever
Why?
wondered whether Beyonce was an optimist, this space right here tells you.
I've been
she's
reading
not.
lots of things on minimalism, so yeah, we'll see how much we can
Amen.
donate and get rid of. Yeah.
Will you be recreating any meals you've had abroad at home? Which
Yes.
meal do you want to make at home more?
Quesadillas.
Quesadillas. Doesn't.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm forgetting what they're called now. They're
In the
kinda like-
buns.
Yeah, wait. They're kind of like sloppy joes, but
They're better than sloppy joes.
Oh yeah.
But you love sloppy joes.
Philly
Yeah.
cheesesteaks.
Philly cheesesteaks
Yeah,
without
those
the
are good.
cheese
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't have Natasha have their
Without mushrooms or
Without
cheese
mushrooms
or
or
onions.
or onions.
That's
Yeah.
what a waste. But Philly cheesesteaks is something I started making on the Blackstone on this trip and absolutely love it.
Natasha just needs to grab some.
Okay, go grab it.
Okay.
It's just
Um,
like steak with barbecue sauce on a bun.
It's
It's
delicious.
Yeah.
How has this trip brought you closer to God? I'd say Beate got a lot closer to God when we were driving down the mountains.
Well, or going up the mountain.
Or going up the
Yeah,
mountains, yeah.
literally,
But
but
more
yeah.
down.
Oh man, a few times I'm like,
Definitely-
this might be it.
Yeah.
No.
Definitely needed some massaging on her neck afterwards because she was all like,
Well, just in the RV, and the car's not too bad, but going down the mountains in the RV, towing a car, going down and around the corners is what kind of made me a bit nervous. But
Yeah.
no, we connected with our church through online services, so it was nice that we were able to do that. And then also,
kids did the personal devos.
yeah, personal devos, and then family devotions as well. We're actually doing one now called Unplugged, which is really good.
Soundtracks.
Soundtracks, not
Yep.
like
That's the name,
soundtracks.
right?
Yeah, that's what I read.
And one of the things was, what did you do? They marveled at, and I would just say nature.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Driving
All
through the walking through, hiking through, driving through whatever the different biomes
Mhm.
has been so
just
cool.
seeing God's creation in like different in the desert, the ocean,
The
Big Bend,
redwoods.
like Big Bend, Texas,
National
yeah.
Park. Highly
The
recommend.
Grand
Check it out.
Canyon, just seeing
Yep.
like the vastness. Yeah,
Just bananas.
incredible seeing God's creation.
Yeah.
In some
Grand
places.
Canyon.
Grand
Yeah.
Canyon. There we
The
go.
Everglades, Key
Yeah.
West, like all
Yeah,
of it.
it's amazing.
So cool.
Yeah.
Rach says, what kinds of foods did you cook while traveling? Same thing as home or different? Definitely some
A
same.
little,
Some
yeah.
different though.
I mean, the oven here is really finicky, so we didn't use the oven a lot. So most of the meals were either on the stove or outside on our Blackstone.
But Natasha figured out how to make good cookies.
Yeah, cookies in the oven, so we did that numerous times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some different. We started doing
Mm-hmm.
stuff on the Blackstone because that was new for us. So on the Blackstone, we could do what did we do? We did ground beef for like
Philly
sloppy joes,
cheesesteaks.
Philly cheesesteaks. We did
For
pancakes,
burritos.
Pancakes, funny
crepes,
cooking. Oh yeah, crepes.
funny cooking, German crepes.
Yeah.
We did meatballs. We did chicken strips, chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
As much as
Chicken
we kind
burgers.
of could do
We
out
could
there.
do
It was
it there. The
easier.
rest we did in here.
Yeah.
It's great.
Any special treats that are RV only?
I mean,
more
definitely get more
snacks.
ice cream. More snacks. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Matthew and myself were saying, I think we're at the highest weight that we've ever been.
Yep.
So after this trip, we will
Gonna
be
cut down on the snacks.
watching a
They
little
keep
bit
me
more.
awake while I'm driving.
We're like, this is 1 year
And the
trip.
rest of the week.
We're gonna enjoy the food on this trip, and then we can focus a little more.
And definitely more ice cream. You're right. We definitely
Yeah.
had more ice cream than any other year this year, eh, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be sad to give up. All right, Jen, who we're hoping to maybe see on our way home, says, "What was the hardest part of being on the road?" I know your answer to this, Devlin.
This one?
Not seeing friends and family. I already said
That was my
but yeah.
hardest too.
Yeah. What about you,
You,
Josh?
Tash?
Not seeing friends and family and also not having a room.
No,
Yeah, that's my second
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. From the house to the kitchen and bathroom, for sure, I miss.
The
But
favorite
yeah,
part is the bath.
bathtub.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
being able to have a bath. Not having to walk over to the campground shower in the flip flops and standing in the shower in the flip flops is gonna be nice.
Are you thinking of planning another trip? The kids are gonna say no. I already started planning our next trip. I actually started planning this trip. The next trip that I want to do is a trip that I actually started planning earlier than this trip. When we retire, I found a trip, a map. And it's a 1 year trip where you follow the probability of it being 70 degrees every day for a full year. So you chase the nice, perfect weather. Not too hot, not too cold. I think that'd be cool. What do you love most about being on the road?
Seeing new things.
Seeing
Yeah,
new
seeing new things, new experiences. Yep. Trying new foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to do a trip. I know I just said one that's already planned, but I'd love to do a trip in the future where it's less planned. We were pretty regimented of where we were going to move and stuff this trip because we wanted to do all the different things. But I would love to do a trip one time where it's just like, let's go over here.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
just do that for a week, and then
Yeah.
let's go over here and do that for 2 weeks, whatever. I'd love to do a little bit more flexibility, perhaps. But I did love the structure too of this trip. Don't get me wrong.
Well, and we're planning on selling the RV after this trip actually,
Yeah.
and then down the road, buying like a fifth wheel.
Yeah. When the kids are old enough that they can be by themselves for a couple of months in university or something, then Deontay and I hope to hit the road again. Andrea says, I thought of another question. Thanks, AJ. Now that you've done all these amazing things, how will you continue to build adventures into your lives as a family?
Museums.
I mean, yeah,
Maybe.
maybe do
Yeah,
more
go to some
museums because we never
museums.
really did too many museums.
In Ontario? Not a whole
No.
lot, no.
I mean, a few, but not too many.
I think we still hope to go to Pennsylvania every year.
Yeah, that's where we kind of started the trip.
Desmond's pointing at Natasha. What do you want me to see about Natasha?
She playing with her son.
We could probably do more like, I mean, there's local like trails that we can experience at home,
Yeah.
right? Or like an hour or two away, like on a day trip, right?
Yeah.
Kind of experience Ontario a bit more.
I think I know one thing from this trip that Natasha's loved that she'll probably continue to do at home. Show them what's in your hand, honey.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
Let's see what you got. Which color?
Slime.
Slime.
Natasha's fallen in love with slime on this trip. She's made all kinds of different slimes. She's bought some too, but she learned how to make her own different types. Now she can like just touch a slime and know what it's made out of and what type of slime it is. And she's like a slime doctor. She'll take a slime that's not working very well and she can like repair it and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I
she tries to get me to touch them, and I don't always like touching them. But
I
she
think
loves
most of your spending money has been like on rocks, treats, and slime.
and,
Oh,
and
you
then-
like rock
yeah.
climbing? That's something we
So
should
Natasha, when we
look
go back,
into.
she wants to get into rock climbing.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Are there places you already have on a list to visit that you didn't get to this time? Yeah, lots.
F1 race.
Ooh, F1 race.
Oh, yeah, you-
We did a
you
lot of
were-
different types
yeah.
of sports, but that was
Mhm.
I would love to go to a horse race.
And a motorbike race would also be
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
Horse race I'd like to do, but we
Horse
can
race,
do that. at
motorbike
home.
race, and
That's
F1.
something.
We went to every other type of sport that we wanted to, but we didn't get to do those three. And that's fine. And yeah, for probably about 5 years, I had been putting on a Google map. Every time I ran across a picture that looked beautiful or someone commented about how much they loved vacationing in this place, I started putting them all on this map of North America. And there's just way too many to do, even in a 1 year trip. It's impossible. So we've still got plenty of fun places kind of on the bucket list. Well, we'll never get to see all of them. That's not the point. It's just to kind of be like, oh, hey, we're going to Kentucky for a week. What are some of the things that I have pinned in Kentucky, and check out if any of them would work. So there's lots of things. Just, I mean, so many of these campgrounds, we were in for a week, and so many of them you could have stayed for a month and not done it all.
Mhm.
There's just always so much to see. And then some of them we were like, okay, we're done. But not
Yeah.
too many.
But I think a tip is when you're going somewhere new, I mean, you can like research all you want or look on TripAdvisor and different things online, but talking to the local people, because then
Yep.
they're going to know something or a restaurant or an activity or something that you might not even find on there,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Another question was, how far did we drive? So not counting the car, because I think the car actually drove quite a bit further than the
Yeah,
RV.
because of all our different day trips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we only drove about 400 kilometers, about 500 maybe, between 300 and 500 kilometers a week in the RV. Um,
We actually just hit 100,000 kilometers.
we hit 100,000
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah, but that wasn't all our
no,
driving.
no. Not this trip. But the car, then we would, sometimes do 200 to 400 kilometers in a day
Mhm.
for various day trips.
Yeah.
So in the RV, we will have driven 13,117 miles. 21,109 kilometers is the projection by the time that we get home that we'll have driven.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of kilometers. 21,000 kilometers.
And then probably
And
double that.
Probably double
I'd say
that.
at least
40
on
roughly
the car.
on the car.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then the last question.
Oh yeah, so
The
another
last
question we got a lot was, what did you do with the house? So we rented it out on Airbnb. So we took all of our stuff and put it all down in the basement. Made sure we had good insurance for the Lego collection, and then we took 2 closets upstairs and put doorknobs on them to lock them, and then we locked the basement, and then we rented out the whole main floor and upstairs except for the 2 closets of the house. And Laura was our property manager
Yeah.
for us. She did just fantastic. We were basically completely hands off.
Mhm.
We didn't have to answer any questions of people that were there. She was on it. Did such a great job. Thank you, Laura.
Yeah.
And we had hoped to, just kind of be able to cover our costs. We doubled that,
Yeah.
and our occupancy rate was way higher than we hoped. We happened to get one.
75%.
Yeah, we happened to get medium-term rental for 3 months in low season, January, February, and March. So we gave them a great deal, and they filled our home for 3 months. So everybody won there.
Yeah.
And August was slammed. We
Yeah.
only had 2 nights. This month we only have 2 nights that aren't booked.
Yeah.
The whole month.
Yeah. So on average, though, I think we had 75%
Yeah.
occupancy rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even higher, obviously. In
So
August.
yeah, getting it ready for the year, it was definitely worth it.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Yeah, and we even, beforehand repainted a lot of the house, and
We did.
Well-
we paint the house.
I helped. I did prep work, but you did. You being tall, of course, you're gonna do most of the
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Oh, you were a great help.
Yeah,
we did. We
pack
did a lot of
everything
things.
up. Yeah, it was a
We
lot of work, but it was worth it.
Had the
for sure.
kitchen painted. We did some work on some cabinets. We did paint in the house. We got some new furniture. We just kind of.
Oh yes, new
My
chairs for the dining
dining-
room. Yeah.
dining room.
Did you
Yeah.
buy a new bed for this year?
No,
we
but
got a
a
new
desk
desk.
for you.
New
For
desk,
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And-
it
And
worked out
painted my
well.
room. And painted new
Yeah.
attachments
Yeah.
room.
So it's great. Yeah, worked
Yeah.
out well.
Airbnb worked out very well.
Yeah. I probably
so-
wouldn't do it for a 1 or 2 month,
Gosh, no.
but for a whole year, it's definitely worth it. for sure.
And unless we have less stuff than we do.
Yeah.
And we only had one problem person.
Yeah, everyone else was
Yeah.
great.
Uh,
Good reviews.
Airbnb was lovely.
Yeah.
It really was. Well, thanks for writing in with your questions. We had fun answering them, and hopefully you enjoy the answers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.